Hi, I'm John. This is my show, A Sports Reckoning. So, this is Raul, aka AIH Sports. And one of the things about Raul is he lives in Chicago, which is right above Gary, Indiana. And the people, if you don't know the real Jackson 5 story, the main thing is where they say how they cut their teeth, where the Jacksons actually came and learned how to be actual real musicians. It was all in Chicago. That's where all the clubs were at. Joe Jackson used to be in the music scene and stuff, right? Joe Jackson knew a lot of the artists in the Chicago music scene and because Chicago blues. Joe Jackson was a blues guitar player, So it's one of the things about my Michael Jackson story. It's right embedded into the actual area of where this guy actually lives and stuff, right? But so I try and get Raul to understand the importance of my Michael Jackson story. And this is why, one of the things where I call him he's fake. He's fake as fuck. Because first of all, he doesn't acknowledge the importance of my Michael Jackson story. And then he doesn't even respect that it's directly, not only is it connected to him as the city of which he lives in, but it's actually even connected to his wife. And it's one of these things where it's dude, this is how I tell the public. It's look if Raul will not give the information of what I'm giving about Michael Jackson, if he doesn't share that information with his own wife, that means if he doesn't even care about his own fucking wife, then you think he cares about you? Any people out here in the public? He's a fraud. He doesn't care about you. He's totally fake on every fucking level. And until he stands up and shows that he's real and deals with my Michael Jackson story, then I will treat him as the piece of shit fucking fake ass fraud fucking loser he is. Just like every other single fucking, cause now Raul, you're now a sports card influencer. You are now an influencer, right? And so since you're now an influencer, I'm going to label you with the title of being a piece of shit fucking sports card YouTube influencer. Because that's what you are. You're fake as fuck. You're not here trying to provide quality information to the public. You're here trying to get a fucking TV show. It's all about you. Everything you do is for you. Because you're fake as fuck. You don't care about society. You don't care about sports cards. You don't even care about your own fucking wife, you fucking loser, Raul. And this is what I'm going to show you in this video. What a piece of shit you fucking actually are and shit, right? And so I have so much fucking information about Michael Jackson. It's hard for me to put together a short little video because I just got too much shit. I got so much stuff, right? And so here, let's go ahead and get into this and stuff. And then I'm going to show you the video to show you what I'm talking about and stuff, right? So here, Raul was having a live stream last night, and so I posted a couple comments, but listen to this one, because this is something I wanted to ask him, because one of the things about the first comments that Raul his response to me when I was talking about Michael Jackson, Raul says, oh, I don't talk about Michael Jackson. He's like, I don't talk about Michael Jackson, like Michael Jackson's not relevant to the community of which he's in and stuff, right? And it's like, you fucking idiot. Michael Jackson is everywhere. And everybody, go ask anybody on the street, do you know Michael Jackson? Everybody knows Michael Jackson. He's literally one of the most famous people that has ever fucking lived. One of the most iconic people that were ever existed in fucking humankind and shit, right? Everybody knows Michael Jackson. In some way, Michael Jackson is connected to you and your life some way. Some way. He's to everybody. And so he's got his massive collectibles and shit. Plus he's got cards. It's fucking ridiculous that these people are not acknowledging the importance of Michael Jackson in the collectibles community. These people are fucking losers and shit, right? And so I posted this comment here on his page, so let's listen to this here.
Sports Card Reckoning, do you have any Michael Jackson Funko Pops? Just wondering if your house makes money from Michael. My wife bought what she thought were real Funko Pops of Michael Jackson for just to collect, but she found out those were not real. So unfortunately, they were not real. I wish they were.
Okay, so his wife bought some Michael Jackson Funko Pops just to collect. So she wasn't buying them to resell them. She wanted them for her own PC, her personal collection, which means there's something, I don't know his wife and stuff, right? But there's obviously right there, it's proven that his wife tried to purchase Michael Jackson Funko Pops for her own collection, that she wanted to PC those. He just said not to sell, she wanted to collect them. Okay, so this is what I'm saying is that Raul doesn't even care about his own wife, because this information of what I'm giving could be valuable information to his wife. right? But he's not willing to even share this own information with his wife. He's withholding this valuable information from his own wife. If he's willing to do that, then he doesn't care about you. That it's just proof, it's 100% proof that he cannot possibly care about any of you or any of the people in the community, because he's withholding valuable information about Michael Jackson from his own fucking wife. Okay, that's all there's to it. He's a fraud and shit, right? So now, let me show you, Raul, that this is the kind of information of which your wife needs to have access to, so then she can determine on her own whether it's a beneficial thing for her to invest in Michael Jackson collectibles and stuff, right? So here we go. I'm going to show you the video. Now, this is 1970, okay? So the Jacksons came to Motown in 1969, right? And then they moved to like LA in early 1970 because they start doing recordings in the LA studio. They started recording in Motown, but then they quickly moved to LA. One of the reasons that occurred is that Diana Ross was already living in Los Angeles, right? So what are the benefits for the Jacksons to go to LA, right? Well, the thing is that Motown's moving to LA and Los Angeles has all the operations, you know, they're the business, you know, that's why they go out there. But when the Jacksons moved to LA, part of the time they're living in Diana Ross's house, right? And so now Diana Ross gets to spend this time with Michael. There's this dynamic that's going on. Now, if Diana Ross is not Michael Jackson's mother, she shouldn't have this interest in spending this private time with Michael. Remember, this is 1970. Technically, she's just met Michael. She's only met Michael like 6 months ago, right? She's only met Michael 6 months ago, and Michael's part of the Jackson family. Okay, so for Diana to isolate Michael away from the Jackson family, you have to understand that that's odd. And listen to the way in which she speaks about Michael. How did she build this kind of relationship with Michael so quickly? This is 1970. What's taking place? And when you see here Michael being alone, why is Michael alone? How is these things, why are they occurring? How is it occurring and why is it occurring? Why is this stuff happening? And listen into the fashion of which she speaks about Michael here.
I love them. We have one of them in the audience here with us.
Where?
We have Michael Jackson somewhere out there. Is he out there? Where is he? There he is. That's my child.
Hey.
That's Michael.
Don't you know anybody? You get a better seat?
He's being incognito.
Oh.
You know, they make me work hard because I want to be something. I mean, I am. Michael has always been like a son or a brother or something to me, and they admire me sort of like. So I try very hard to keep up such an image for them. And when I do a show like this, they usually sneak Michael in. I really didn't know he was going to be here. I heard about it, and I was hoping that he was here because it makes me a little bit stronger because I'm doing it basically for him.
Okay, it makes me a little bit stronger because I'm doing it basically for him. What? She just said, there he is, that's my child. She says, I am, I kind of am, I am. She's like, Michael has always been like a son or a brother to me. She's flat out saying it and shit, right? And then right there when she says, they make me work hard because basically I'm doing it for him. She's just met this kid. This kid is part of the Jackson family. What, how, and then Michael's there sitting alone, all by himself. There he is, that's my child. Right? She just totally told everybody, and she's wanting Michael to feel like he's part of her family. She's wanting Michael to feel like he's being acknowledged by her. That's what she's doing. She wants Michael, she's telling Michael, she's showing Michael, look, I'll acknowledge you in public, but the people will not understand it, and they don't want to accept it because you're part of the Jackson family. So there's like this weird thing, but she flat out she just told everybody. She just showed, and then I'm doing it for him. They make me work hard because I'm doing it basically for him. For him. Not for all children. Not for the Jackson family. It's specifically him. There he is. That's my child. And she says, he's always been like a son to me. Always. She just met this kid 6 months ago. How could he always have been like a son? Why would they make her work hard because she's doing it for him? Okay, now, but you take it into the context that Michael's actually her child, that she gave Michael away when she was 14 years old. Now can you see how this conversation, the actual, like, what's actually taking place here? And it's like, okay, like I said, this is 1970. I'm going to show you. This stuff just goes on and on. This is 1981. So here, we'll jump another 10 years. How is Diana Ross referring to Michael Jackson 10 years after that?
1 quick minute. Tonight is a night for film. What are your plans in film coming up?
We're going to do something soon. He's going to play my son.
We're going to do something soon. He's going to play my son. My son. Specifically, the words, there he is right there. Yeah, oh yeah, we're going to do another movie. Like, we're going to do another movie. She didn't say anything about, like, what's the movie about, right? Are you going to do another film? She could have said, yeah, I'm going to do another film. I'm going to play this character, and he's going to play my son in the movie. Okay, now that's if they were going to do a movie, and that's how it was set up, where she's going to play a role, and he's going to play a role of her son in the movie, then she would have said, we're going to do this. We're going to do this movie. We have in the works. We're going to do this movie, and I'm going to play this character, and he's going to play my son in the movie. She could have said something like that, but no, that's not what she says. What she just comes out clearly, she wants to say that that's my son. She, oh yeah, we're going to do another movie, and he's going to play my son. She wants to tell the world, like again, what I said. She's acknowledging Michael in public as being her son. That's what she's doing, because she wants Michael to understand that she's acknowledging him as her son. But she's also doing it in public to let Michael know that people are not going to understand this. You know, we can acknowledge this all we want. And so what she's doing to Michael is saying, we can have our relationship. We can be mother and son, but the public won't accept it. You know, so she's like, we'll just live our life and do our thing, and who cares about the public? That's basically what she's saying. Okay, so then we jump to like another 10 years after that. So now listen to what she says here. And like I said, in this one, when she talks about Michael, she says, Michael could be part of my family. She just told you, there's Michael's my child and stuff, right? She said, Michael, there he is. That's he's going to play my son. But on this one, she says, Michael could be part of my family because a lot of our bone structure is the same. Bone structure. Well, how would Michael have the same bone structure as Diana? And why would Diana Ross ever talk about Michael Jackson being part of her family? Because they've got similar bone structure. Bone structure. I mean, this is the one, when I hear the word, when I hear her saying, she directly says it. Michael could be part of my family because we got similar bone structure. Bone structure. It's like, well, how would Michael have the same bone structure as Diana? Oh, well, if she was his mother, wouldn't they have similar bone structure? So again, she's constantly doing this. This is a thing that kept taking place. It kept happening.
It could be part of my family.
Yes.
We have a lot of the same bone structure and a lot of skin
Well,
color
Michael
the
does
same.
now because he's had it all done. You take that as a compliment?
Cannot. I refuse you to insult Michael. He's a friend of mine.
Yeah.
I love him,
Yeah.
and I don't like people making fun of him.
No, but he...
So the host there, what he does is he acknowledges the rumor that Michael Jackson looks like Diana Ross. That's what he does when he says, well, of course he does. He's had it all done. But what it is that when Michael started having surgeries, the people instantly were saying, are you having surgeries because you're trying to look like Diana Ross? Because god damn, you sure look a lot like Diana Ross. And we all know that you have this relationship with Diana Ross. So people are always trying to figure out what is it that's going on. And people can make jokes and stuff like that. But what should she just tell you? She just told you Michael could be part of her family because they got similar bone structure. Bone structure, right? And then we jump all the way up to here to Michael's death. This is Michael Jackson's will, right? And so it says here in the middle, it says, if any of my children are minors at the time of my death, I nominate my mother, Katherine Jackson, as guardian of the persons and estates of such minor children. If Katherine Jackson fails to survive me, or is unable or unwilling to act as guardian, I nominate Diana Ross as guardian of the persons and estates of such minor children. I subscribe my name to this will, this date, Michael Jackson. Okay, so now here you go. The dynamic and the relationship between Michael and Diana, it's a mother and a son relationship, right? I just showed you that clearly that's what's going on. And now, if Diana Ross is actually Michael Jackson's mother, doesn't that make sense of why she's in Michael Jackson's will? Because first Michael Jackson gives all of his money, his whole estate, he gives it to his children. So he nominated as a guardian over over the children in the state, he nominates Katherine Jackson, but the kids have the money, right? So Michael didn't give anything to like his siblings, and Michael always spoke well of Katherine, and Katherine did raise Michael, so it's like an adopted child. If you're an adopted child, but you're raised in this family, well then that is your family. That would be your mother. She raised you, and Michael honors that, right? He respects Katherine. He honors her as a true mother to him. He totally honors her, and he gives her that respect because he's tied into the Jackson family. And so Michael Jackson upholds the image of the Jackson family by putting Katherine Jackson in there. But then after that, he doesn't give anything to anybody in the family. But who does come into that position? Diana Ross. So the same person on the level that he would give guardianship over to his children would be, you would think, oh, well, his mother, Katherine Jackson, of course. But then who's the next person that he puts in that exact same position? Diana Ross. The person that they've been having this relationship where she's been calling him up, she's saying that he's her son and stuff, because she's his actual mother. That's how this ends up. That's what I'm saying, is that this took place from the very moment of where Michael Jackson went to Motown and started to rebuild his relationship with his true mother, Diana Ross. At the very moment, these things started happening instantly, and it happened constantly throughout Michael Jackson's life, all the way up into his death. You see the same theme is taking place here, that Diana Ross is being placed in a mother position with Michael Jackson, and they're both doing it. It's both of them are doing it and stuff, right? That's the dynamics of this relationship. So now these are the Funko Pops, the Michael Jackson Funko Pops. Okay, so now there's things with understanding my story. It makes certain things, the Michael Jackson collectibles, certain things are more valuable than others and stuff, right? So on these Funko Pops, on the top left you have the Smooth Criminal. On the right, that's just an outfit that Michael wore. It's not like, I'm sure that there's certain events that you would tie to that, like, I think he wore that probably to one of the award shows, but I'd have to go back and check and see which one it is. Like, I think he wore that when he went and met the president, Reagan and stuff. Like, there's places where he wore that outfit, but it's not directly connected to, like, a video, okay? So the one in the top right is one that you would be like, I don't think that that's one of the more special ones. But then underneath that is the Beat It. On the bottom left there is the Billie Jean, and then on the bottom right is the Bad. Okay, so Billie Jean is the biggest one. But so there's a thing there, is that's Michael Jackson doing Billie Jean from the Billie Jean video. Okay, that's the Billie Jean video outfit, which is a good one and stuff. But the Motown 25 is the iconic image of Michael Jackson. The outfit is, you want the Michael Jackson 25 doing the Billie Jean performance. That's the one that's the super big one. That's the bigger one stuff, right? And then but the thing is that Diana Ross is actually Billie Jean. The actual song Billie Jean, what it's actually about Diana Ross telling Michael that she was his real mother at that time. Like I said, in that first video, it's 1970. At that time when Michael was hanging around Diana Ross and he's actually living in her house, like in the song of Billie Jean, what it says, she came and stood right by me. Okay, that's the thing, is that the Billie Jean woman, it's in Diana Ross's house, right? Just like how Michael's sitting in the audience alone with Diana Ross, she has this power, right? Diana Ross is in control, right? And Michael's just a kid. So like in the song Billie Jean, it says, she came and stood right by me. Then the smell of sweet perfume, because that's Diana Ross. She always smelling a sweet perfume. So she came and stood right by me. See, the woman, she just came and stood right by me. She's in charge. She came and stood right by me. Then the smell of sweet perfume. This happens much too soon. She calls me to her room. She calls me to her room. What happened much too soon is that Diana Ross calls Michael to her room because he's living in her house at that time. She calls Michael to her room and she tells him the truth. This happens much too soon because Michael, just as he gets to Motown and he thinks he's made this great achievement with his family, he finds out that he was abandoned as a child, that the Jacksons are not his family. And all this hard work of what he's been doing and how Joe's been pushing him, he realizes that Joe's not his father. That changes the whole dynamic of the situation. And now he's got Diana Ross wanting to spend all this personal time with him, which I just showed you in that video. There's Michael in the audience alone, and Diana's proclaiming that's her child, and she's proclaiming that they make me work hard because I'm doing it basically for him. Yeah, she's been doing it for him because she's been trying to resolve this problem of what she had where she abandoned her child and shit, right? That thing was looming in her psyche her whole time. she's like, I abandoned my child. Where's my kid? Where's my kid at? You know, she's like wondering, where's her kid? And then when they get reunited and all that stuff, you could see the joy in Diana when she's speaking about Michael and how proud she wants to scream it to the world. That's my child. She's literally doing it. She's literally proclaiming to the world, that's my child. So the Billie Jean, what the Billie Jean song actually is about, it's about that moment in time about where Michael's living with Diana and she tells him the truth. Diana Ross is Billie Jean. Michael's the kid in the song. The people have always misinterpreted the lyrics. So the Billie Jean is the big one. But there's all kinds of other things that they could be doing with these Funko Pops. If I explain to them the story, like the ones that would be, like if you wanted to make like a really rare like Funko Pop, if you could get like something like of The Wiz, like Michael playing the character of the Scarecrow, and you could get like a Michael as the Scarecrow Funko Pop, that would be cool and shit, right? And then also get a Diana Ross. If you could do like the whole cast of The Wiz and shit, right? Get all four of them. Get the Lion and the Tin Man, and you'd have Michael and you'd have Diana and stuff. That would be a cool Funko Pop collection, right? But it would also be extra significant because you've got Michael and Diana together and stuff, right? But so then the song Beat It is also the same thing. So after Michael is told by Diana the truth, right? Then the Jacksons now know that Michael's been told the truth. And so that's why in the song Billie Jean it says, then every head turned with eyes that dreamed of being the one. Right? So after Diana tells Michael the truth, now he comes out of the room and he's got these like starry eyes. So every head turned with eyes that dreamed of being the one. Because Michael's now thinking, I'm the son of Diana Ross. And the Jacksons are like, no, you're our child. You live with us and shit, right? So the song Beat It is about after that moment. After Michael is informed by Diana Ross, and she's the Billie Jean, so the song Billie Jean. So after Michael's informed that he's the son of Diana Ross, then you have the song Beat It, which is about the Jacksons' response to that. And how do they respond to it? They told him, don't you ever come around here. Don't want to see your face, you better disappear. The fire's in their eyes and their words are really clear. So beat it, just beat it. That's the Jacksons' response to Michael coming out of the room with the starry eyes, dreaming of being the one. The Jacksons, now their response to that is, they told him, don't you ever come around here. Don't want to see your face, you better disappear. That kid, so the Jacksons said, look we don't want to see your face and those eyes that are dreaming of being the one, that you think you're the son of Diana Ross. The Jacksons are saying, no, don't you ever come around here. Get that fucking kid out of here. You're a Jackson. Don't you forget, we raised you. We took you in. You were abandoned. You were thrown out like trash. We fucking took you in. We raised you. We nurtured you. We groomed you into being a big music star. We did all this stuff for you. So they told him flat out. They told him, don't you ever come around here. We don't want to see your face. You better disappear. Get that fucking kid out of here that you think you're the son of Diana Ross. You're a Jackson. The fire's in their eyes and their words are really clear, so beat it. They told him, beat it. Get that fucking kid out of here. You're a Jackson. So that's what the song Beat It is about. Because then Michael he turns that. He says, oh, well, you telling me to beat it to get out of here? And then so Michael then turns that into his mantra. Because he says, show them how funky strong is your fight. It doesn't matter who's wrong or who's right. Just beat it. So that's the mantra then that Michael lives by. And he says, you know what? There is nothing. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm the abandoned child. I'm living with the Jacksons. Here's Diana Ross, but it doesn't matter because I can't go back and live with her. I'm stuck, right? And so, Michael, they told him to beat it. So Michael said, you know what I will do? I'm going to show him how funky strong is my fight. And so Michael said, I'm going to use the talent of what I've got. I'm going to fight against all of you. And I'm going to become the biggest entertainer of the world. And I'm going to beat so he turned that into his mantra. You told me to beat it to get out of here. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to beat you all by becoming the biggest star in the world. That's how I'm going to do it. And he did it. But then what happens is when he got to the heights of everything, then he realized that none of the fans actually knew who he was, right? You got all these fans adoring him and stuff, but then he realized, shit, nobody understands my work. And he understood that, damn, I'm back alone again now. And so that's what caused him all this damage and shit, right? So then, so you got the Thriller era. And then after that, you would have the Bad era. So the Bad era, like Smooth Criminal, I've looked at it and identifying the song, and I'm still not 100% about identifying and stuff. There's still things like that. And same thing with the song Bad. Same thing. There's essence of it that's related to my story and stuff, but I'm not 100% sure, so I've never done that exactly. But there's other songs in there, like Dirty Diana and like Leave Me Alone, songs like that that are related to my story for sure. The songs that are actually, because that's the thing, you have to find songs that are actually written by Michael and stuff. And so, like I said, but so Bad Era definitely is the same thing. He's definitely talking about the same story. A lot of that stuff is taking place. So the Bad Era stuff is cool and stuff, but you would have to have the more specific ones related to my story. Those are going to be the ones that are going to be more valuable and more collectible. When you actually understand the background story of these images, then you're going to understand which ones are actually more desirable and more collectible and stuff, right? This is valuable information of like what I'm telling you, Raul. Your wife should have access to this information so she could use it to invest and collect about things of how she wants to do. But you're withholding this information from your wife because you don't care about your wife, because you're a fraud, Raul, right? So that's the Funko Pop. So now let me show you this. This is The Wiz. Okay, this is Michael and Diana in the movie called The Wiz, which was a play on the movie The Wizard of Oz, right? But it's a total different version, but it's The Wizard of Oz, right? So here's The Wiz, and this is like the Ease On Down the Road song that shows. But so what I want to show you is I'm showing you the image of the path, the follow the yellow brick road, follow the yellow brick road and shit, right? So it's the image of like the yellow brick road, the path and stuff, right? So this is The Wiz, and then this is The Wizard of Oz. Okay, there's the path. Follow the yellow brick road to the Emerald City. Okay, see the image of the path. Okay, and what's the path? When you see that image, it's directly connected to like the Wizard of Oz and the path that Michael then redid, like a form of that movie in The Wiz with Diana Ross, right? So they're that path. That's what that path signifies. Okay, then like I just explained to you, that the song Billie Jean, like see the word right there, I stopped it here on this part because it says her schemes and plans. Her schemes and plans. That's what Michael is having to deal with. He's dealing with Diana Ross, all her schemes and her plans, because she is Billie Jean, right? So like I was telling you, Diana Ross is Billie Jean. So now when you go to the Billie Jean video, isn't that the same path and the essence of what you're seeing from The Wizard of Oz and the path of what you see on the Ease On Down the Road in the movie that Michael Jackson did with Diana Ross? Then he puts it in the Billie Jean video. But the thing is, remember the story of The Wizard of Oz, is that Dorothy is like knocked unconscious during the tornado, and she's kind of like, it's like a dream, because then she goes back home and she wakes up and she's like, okay, yeah, you were all there, Auntie Em and stuff, and it's like a dream. It's like a dream story, right? It's kind of like that. It's like a dream world thing that has occurred and stuff, right? And you go to the land of Oz and it's all beautiful and all the color, right? Because it's like a happy fairy tale story. But Michael's story about him being abandoned as a child, that's what the actual song is about, Billie Jean. It's about Michael being abandoned as a child. It's about his mother telling him that she was his real mother when he's 10 years old, and then, like he says, this happens much too soon. She called me to her room. See, and like the next line is, Billie Jean's not my lover. Okay, well, so what happened in the room then? He just told you that this happened much too soon. She called me to her room. Something happened in the room. She came and stood right by me. The woman's in charge and stuff, right? Because it's Diana Ross's house, right? So something happened, but what happened in there and stuff, right? What it is she told him the truth. It's not sexual. So what it is that the Wiz story about what's taking place here is how Michael, he's relating to you that story of the Billie Jean. It's not a happy fairy tale story. What he's using is that image of the Wizard of Oz, because he's linking that directly. That links back to his portrayal of the Wizard of Oz starring with Diana Ross. And they start on that path together, like in that Ease On Down the Road. It's Michael and Diana. They're going to start easing on down that road, right? But what it is the true story of that situation. What it is, it's for Michael, it's a nightmare story. It's not the Wizard of Oz in this good fairy tale story in the beautiful land of Oz. When Michael gets told the true story now, he's put into this nightmare world of where his true existence, he has to live in this nightmare world. And that's what I'm telling you. This is why this image appears in the video Billie Jean. Can you see the path? Okay, see the path going to the city? This is a dark world. This is a nightmare world. This is not the land of Oz where it's a dream world with all the beautiful colors and the fairy tale. This is real life. And the real life story of what Billie Jean is about Michael being informed by his real mother that he was abandoned as a child. This is a nightmare. See how dark it is? Look how dark the path is. Look at the land back there of Oz. It's a nightmare world. That's what the video is about. This is why the Billie Jean is the big one and stuff, right? And as I show you, it's directly connected to the Wizard of Oz. The Billie Jean is directly connected to the Wizard of Oz, which links it to his experience with Diana Ross. That's what he's trying to show you. That's why the image appears to be that way. And then one other image just to show you how important that path is, and that Wizard of Oz is, here's Michael Jackson at Neverland Ranch, right? So even at Neverland Ranch, Michael built into even the Neverland Ranch a little bit of that path. But in this, he's turned it back in because he's trying to live his good life and stuff, right? But what he finds out is when he's there, here he is again, he's alone and he's isolated, which conveys that message with this picture and stuff, right? Here he is, he's on that path, he's beat it, he's done it, he's beat them all and stuff, right? And he's created this world, but he gets here and what's he find out? He's still alone. He's not part of Diana Ross's family, and he's not really part of the Jackson family. And here he is, and he's got to live like this, alone, and he can't relate to the fans. None of the fans actually understand who he is. He can't tell them the truth, and so it leaves him in isolation in his Neverland, and this is like the sad story of Michael Jackson and stuff. It's the true story of what actually happened to him and stuff, right? And so the fans are just stupid fans. What the fans are is what I find is that they're all stealing from Michael Jackson. They all want Michael Jackson. They're like, he's the biggest star, so if we connect our name to him, then it allows us to be this or that. What it is, that's a form of theft. They're stealing from Michael Jackson's identity to try and benefit themselves. That's what they're all fake and shit, right? And so then I come into like the sports car community and collectibles community, and I find out that they're all the same too. That all these people are doing everything to even all benefit themselves. And even when you get a person like AIH Sports, he says, I'm a contrarian. Oh, on the contrary and shit, right? So it's like, dude, you're not a contrarian. You're a fucking fall in line slave just like everybody else because you're afraid to talk about a real story. There's no story in the sports car and collectibles community that is anywhere near as big and as relevant to our community and our society and the human existence. There's nothing bigger than my Michael Jackson story. But have you ever heard AIH talk about my story? No. Do you think AIH is sharing this information with his wife? No, because he doesn't like her either. If he doesn't like his wife and is not going to enable her to make her own choice about this kind of information to see if it's valuable information, maybe it's something that she might want to have access to so that she could then start to collect and find merchandise that's related to this kind of stuff before my story breaks. It's a huge opportunity of what I've offered to everybody. Is anybody talking about this story in the community? No, because they're all fake. They're all frauds. They're total fucking losers, of which I've just proven, like in this video, is using as an example AIH Sports, because he tries to exclude himself from the fucking all the worthless losers and the fucking influencers, and because he's like, they're the bad ones. They're the ones that are pumping and dumping. They're the ones that are doing it all for fake fucking reasons and shit. So are you, AIH. You're fake as fuck because you can't talk about this story. Why can't you talk about the story? Because you're fake. And you're going to use every fucking little excuse you can to back out and to not talk about me, because this is what you do, AIH, just like everybody else. You have your MO is one thing. Don't talk about him. Don't talk about him. Don't talk about his story, and maybe he'll go away. Because you're all fake as fuck, because you don't fucking respect society. You don't respect what fucking quality information, what real evidence is, what fucking the quality of the evidence can show you how to invest. Like when I tell you about the stories and I show you this is the stuff that you need to invest in, because this is how it's directly connected to Michael Jackson and why it makes it so much more valuable than just other merchandise. There's certain things that are extremely more valuable because it has this direct connection to this secret story that Michael Jackson had embedded into his artwork that he had left behind for the people. The stuff that's related to that stuff, the stuff that I'm exposing and showing you why it's more invaluable, this is the stuff that you need to be collecting in. These are the opportunities that I have given to the collectibles community and stuff for them to invest in this stuff, and I'll show you directly. Like, you can actually come to me and say, hey, look at this item. What do you think about this item? If somebody ever did that to me, I would never backstab you and go and steal that item from you. I would never, ever do that. I would never. If you came and showed me an item that you had an idea that you wanted to buy, I would look at it like I'm cool as fuck. I would look at it and I would evaluate it and I would tell you the actual, what I see in it. And I would tell you that would I invest in that? Does it connect to me? Because if I don't feel it, if it's something that I don't think is valuable, like right off the bat, like anything that's the Jacksons, I don't want anything that's the Jacksons. I want only Michael Jackson stuff. And I want Diana Ross stuff and Smokey Robinson, Michael's real parents. The stuff related to the actual experience of what Michael Jackson had. I don't want the Jackson stuff. I only want the Michael stuff. That's the stuff I want. And the stuff that's connected to him and Diana is much bigger and better. That's the stuff I want. So I would show you, could show me something, a collectible of Michael Jackson. You could say, what do you think about this? And I would tell you, I really like that. That's something you should get. And then you could go get it and stuff, right? I would never backstab you and undermine you and go buy it. I would never buy it from underneath you and shit. I would never ever do that to anybody and shit, right? So I totally offer this service for free. I've given you the reason why, I show you why the stuff is valuable. I can narrow it down to show you each individual product, which ones are more valuable than the other ones. I would totally do that for you. You could ask me to give me your opinion about a specific collectible item. I would tell you, I would give you that information totally for free. Never charging anything. Don't even ask you for a fucking subscription or a like. I don't ask for nothing. Unlike you, AIH Sports, who on every video, don't forget the drill to subscribe and like my thing. You're fucking begging people for shit in every single video. You come up begging for change from every single person that fucking watches your video. Can you give me some change, mister? Can you please ring my bell and subscribe and like my video, mister? You got any spare change and shit, right? You're a fucking loser. I'm the only one out here doing it completely for just the purpose of getting the information out, to expose this to the people. I ask for nothing in return but to expose the story. And I get no fucking help. Nobody fucking responds to me. I get treated like shit from everybody because you're all a bunch of fake ass fucking scumbag fucking losers.